Right now I'm demonstrating the Blackjack, and it's a posterior sickle. So for method 1, you want to use the lower shank as a visual cue. First, you want to establish a finger rest. Next, you want to place the working end in the get ready zone of the distal surface. Then you want to use the lower shank as a visual cue. So the lower shank is parallel to the distal surface, and the functional shank goes up and over the tooth. So a good memory aid would be to think that posterior equals parallel and the functional shank up and over. For method 2, it's inner and outer cutting edges. So you want to hold the instrument so that you're looking down at the face. You want to determine which cutting edge is closer to the handle. So to define the cutting edges, you want to think inner means closer to the handle, outer means further from the handle. So the inner cutting edges is used for the distal surfaces, and the outer cutting edges is used for the facial, lingual, and mesial surfaces. So think I will start in on the distal surface, then move out to the facial and mesial. You want to make sure you establish angulation. So face to tooth surface angulation is 70 to 80 degrees, and the correct angulation is achieved by tilting the lower shank towards the tooth surface. So you want to remember me, my patient, my light, my mirror, my grasp, my finger rest, my adaptation. So for the distal surfaces, you want to position the tip third of the working end at the distal facial line angle. Then you want to work back towards the distal surface and check your angulation. Make sure to tilt the lower shank towards the tooth surface, and the face should be at 70 to 80 degrees angle to the distal surface. So for the facial line angle forward for the facial and mesial surfaces, you want to reposition at the distal facial line angle with the tip facing forward. Then you want to tilt the shank towards the tooth surface, and the tip leads the way. So make strokes across the facial surface, roll the instrument handle to maintain adaptation at the line angle, and tilt the lower shank towards the mesial surface. Then you want to continue the strokes at least halfway across the mesial surface. So remember to use the visual cue to select the correct working end of the posterior sickle scalar, and to tilt your lower shank slightly towards the tooth to establish the correct face to tooth surface angulation.
Right now I'm going to demonstrate rules 3-4, and it is a universal curette, which are designed for easy adaptation on all tooth surfaces. The blade of a universal curette has a round toe and back and 2 cutting edges for scaling, making it an efficient design for scaling the entire mouth. The blade is correctly adapted when the toe is directed interproximally and the terminal shank is parallel to the tooth. To remove deposits, the cutting edge is applied to the tooth surface, and the facial surface of the blade is tilted towards the tooth to achieve a 70 to 85 angle between the tooth and the blade. Apply lateral pressures against the tooth and pull upwards while maintaining contact with the tooth. To scale the facial surfaces, place the toe of the blade towards the proximal surface with the handle parallel to the tooth. Next, apply strokes to remove deposits from the midline of the tooth to the proximal surface. Then you want to work from canine to canine. Switch working ends and repeat for surfaces away from you. And for lingual surfaces, you repeat all of those steps. For anterior teeth, you want to begin at the distal line angle of the most posterior tooth. Direct the toe of the blade towards the distal with the terminal shank angle slightly towards the tooth. Apply strokes from the line angle to contact area. Next, turn the toe towards the mesial to scale the buccal and mesial surfaces. And continue this sequence to complete the posterior region. Right now I'm demonstrating the incorrect technique for the Blackjack. The Blackjack is a posterior sickle, but in the video I am using it on anterior teeth. I will also demonstrate the incorrect technique for the rules 3-4. The rules 3-4 is a universal curette, meaning that it can be used on supra as well as subgingival surfaces. In the video, I am only using it on the supra surfaces, and I'm not going subgingivally. and I'm also scratching the tooth surface with the toe, and that's not how you use the instrument.